Chapter 375. When Alex saw Paisel saluting and bowing before him, Alex waved his hand before he said, "Mr. Billy, you don't need to be so polite with me. You don't need to call me Mr. Anderson either, you can just call me Alex." "How could I possibly do that?" Paisel hurriedly bowed before he said, "Mr. Anderson, you are my master, so how could I possibly address you by your first name?" When Alex saw how stubborn and persistent the old man was, he did not continue to persuade him. Instead, he simply said, "I heard that Albert Warner and Sean Richard came to see you yesterday." Paisel was very surprised at this time. "Mr. Anderson, how did you find out about this?" Luna stuck out her tongue before she said, "Grandpa, I was the one who told Mr. Anderson about this." Paisel started to reprimand Luna immediately. "Young girl, Mr. Anderson is so busy with his own daily affairs, so how could you bother him with something as trivial as this?" Luna felt very aggrieved at this time. The reason why she had called Alex was not because she wanted to ask for credit on behalf of her grandfather. Instead, it was simply because she wanted to look for an opportunity to talk to Alex. After all, she had always regarded Alex as her idol and she admired him even more than she admired her own grandfather. Therefore, she really wanted to look for an opportunity to talk to him even if it was just a mere phone call. However, she could not possibly make a phone call to Alex if there was nothing for them to talk about, could she? Therefore, she decided to report the events that had happened yesterday to Alex. However, she did not expect her grandfather to scold her instead. In fact, the reason why Paisel yelled at Luna was simply because he was worried that Alex would misunderstand him. He was afraid that Alex would think that he was the one who had asked Luna to call him so that he could get more credit for himself. He did not want Alex to misunderstand him and think of him as someone who wanted to take credit for everything. When Alex saw the aggrieved and miserable expression on Luna's face, he smiled before he said, "Mr. Billy, this is just a small matter. Please don't scold Luna because of this." At this time, Paisel hurriedly replied, "Mr. Anderson, I'm sorry for embarrassing myself in front of you." Alex waved his hand before he said, "Mr. Billy, when you found out that Albert and Sean had offended me in the past, you refused to treat them. This means you're loyal to me and showing me respect. I'll remember what you have done." Paisel quickly replied, "Mr. Anderson, you've done so much for me and you showed me so much kindness when you saved my life. I can only do so much to ease your worries and troubles. You don't have to be so polite to me." After that, Paisel pointed at the Serene World Clinic signboard before he said in a serious manner, "I made this decision to stay in Oris Hill and open a medical clinic because I want to be able to help you and carry out your instructions whenever you need my services. This is the only way I'll be able to repay your kindness." Alex smiled before he said, "You really are a very loyal man." After that, Alex took out the magical pill from his pocket before he handed it to Paisel. "Mr. Billy, this is the same magical pill that I've given you previously. Even though I've not specifically demonstrated it, based on ancient records, a dying man would be able to prolong his life for another 5 to 10 years after taking this pill. Therefore, I've decided to give you this pill today. You should keep it with you because it might be useful to you in the future." Paisel looked at the pill and he trembled as he fell to his knees. After that, he said in a trembling voice, "Mr. Anderson, you can't do this. You've already given me one of these pills prior to this and I've not been able to repay your kindness. How could I possibly receive such a big gift from you?" When Luna saw that her grandfather had already gotten down on his knees, she knelt down beside him as she rested her slender hands on her knees and looked at Alex with her bright and watery eyes. Alex had given this magical pill to a few people. Even though every one of them knew that this magical pill was extremely precious, the person who understood the value of this medicine the most was none other than Paisel. First of all, Paisel had been practicing medicine for his whole life. Since he was so proficient and knowledgeable in medicine, he knew how powerful this magical pill was and he knew that he could not possibly find a second one in this world. Secondly, Paisel was already growing older, and the older he got, the better he understood his own fate. Even though he was a genius doctor who was very famous, after living for more than 80 years, it was very possible for him to quietly pass away in his sleep one day. This magical pill had the ability to prolong the life of a dying man. This meant that Paisel would be able to extend his life for several years because of this magical pill that Alex was giving to him. Of course, Paisel would love to have this magical pill. However, he did not dare ask for it.